Today on Your Loose Women Live, Kay Adams, Kelly Holmes, Sue Cleaver and Gloria Honeyford.
Welcome to your midweek Loose Women. Here is what's coming up with the traitors returning to our screens tonight. I can't wait. We're sharing a preview and asking if it's just sensible to be suspicious of new people. And as Nicole Kidman reveals, one of the biggest things that she has lied about, we'll be sharing our most outrageous porcupines, and one could genuinely have put national security at risk. And at 1 o'clock, a very important chat. 1 month after Dame Esther Rantzen revealed that she has considered assisted dying, we'll be talking to her daughter, Rebecca Wilcox, about their miracle Christmas together and why this new campaign could be her mum's greatest legacy. Plus, we'll be hearing from Esther herself. And it's chilly outside. Kelly's hair's even turned blue. So is this sort of weather-coordinated hair we're going for now?
I think so. Remember I came with the platinum? Well, it didn't last, did it, because of the regrowth, and then it was a mess because I've been in Panto and I had a wig on for 5 weeks.
Oh, right, okay.
And I took the wig off, obviously, over the time. I was like, I've got to sort this hair out. Then it went black and it's it's boring. So then I put the blue in. This won't last. It'll be red next week.
I like it.
Red next week. But yeah, a bit of change. But I've been in Panto. Who would have thought? Oh, yes, I did.
Oh, yes, sorry, we missed her cue. I'm sorry. Oh, no, you weren't. Oh, yes, she was.
So I was a ring mistress Olympia.
Wow.
On the boards. Never once thought I would do Panto, because I've always been very self-conscious, believe it or not. Very, intimidated by other thoughts and what people think of me, and even how do you fit in and whatever, and I always had that, even coming on here, that imposter syndrome. Now I have done Panto, I do not care what people think.
I wondered how you were going to end that
I really don't care, because you have to lose everything. You go on stage, you have to lose all inhibition, so I'm ready for 2024.
Yeah! Well, I'm looking forward to the show. Right, we're going to start with some royal news today. It's rumoured that Prince William might break away with tradition when he becomes king and be the first monarch in 500 years not to be the head of the Church of England. Now, King Charles swore to protect all faiths and beliefs in his coronation last year. So, do we still need the monarch to fulfil that role? Gloria, would you be disappointed if William was not King William?
I'm going to be really honest with you. I'm not 100% sure exactly what head of the church, the monarch, should be doing or is doing.
I suppose it's symbolic, isn't it?
Well, maybe, but I think it's a little bit more than that, because I think the Queen was marvellous because she showed her faith so many times in a very good way. And I was very comfortable with the fact that she was head of the church, and I like that. So I haven't got that far yet with Charles, so I'm actually not quite sure. Yeah. All I do know is that I think on an individual basis, we all have a different view of faith. And I've arrived at a stage where my faith is strong, but it's comfortable, because a lot of it was based in a way on the final aspect of it. I interviewed 2 professors from Oxford University once, and one was a real believer and the other believed in nothing. And they fought for about 10 minutes and nobody came to a conclusion. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to stick to my faith. And I feel comfortable with that now. And it's not that I go to church every Sunday, but I like the idea of faith. I like the idea of tradition. So if head of the church and the monarch is part of our tradition, then I like it.
Yeah. Well, but traditions can change, of course. I mean, and everyone is entitled to their own faith.
Of course.
I hope we would all appreciate that, is whether or not, as a country, we would want our monarchs to be the head of the Church of England. Would that matter to you? I mean, if we look at the latest census, Christianity is now a minority belief in England and Wales.
But we're still a Christian country. We're classic.
Well, it depends.
I know that we have many different people and countries represented here, and that's great. And everybody can have their own faith, but officially speaking, we are still a Christian country.
I don't know how you define it. I mean, funnily enough, the number of people identifying as Christian dropped by 5.5 million in the past decade, and all other major religions witnessed increased numbers. So, I mean, there is an interesting shift taking place, isn't there?
I think, for me, I mean, whether we have a monarchy or we don't, that's a different argument. While we have a monarchy, I want to have a monarchy for all the people, so that, you know, that it is accessible to everybody. So For me, it wouldn't be a great loss. But
William decided.
Yeah, I understand, you know, your point of view, and I understand tradition, but I think it is very much a ceremonial role these days, isn't it?
Yeah, but I suppose if you're not in the Church of England and you are a citizen of the United Kingdom, you might wonder, well, why is our king or queen the head of the Church of England? I don't know.
People can celebrate their own religion in whatever way they want, and they do, whether it's within schools or within the various churches, and nobody's against that. I'm just saying that as it stands at the moment in history, we've been a Christian country, and so far we still are, until things change massively.
I think, for me personally, I mean, I really don't know where Prince William's kind of allegiance is to the monarchy and that faith, but I think religion has so much discrimination and persecution. It's caused so much conflict. There's so much hatred. You know, you look at Ireland, you know, Protestant, Catholic. I just think that whoever believes in whatever you believe in and why you believe in it should be an individual decision. What you shouldn't do then is preach to somebody else that they have to agree with that belief.
You know, do you have a faith?
I would say I'm more spiritual.
Right, OK,
So
and how do you define that?
I went to a Church of England primary school, but that's just because it was my school and we had to do Sunday school. Now, it wasn't that I didn't like going to Sunday school, it was just the process that we went in. So I don't believe in one thing, but I believe in fate, I believe in maybe the bigger world. I do believe there's something that guides us, but that's if you believe in angels, that yourself. Believe in, I see feathers and I see butterflies, and I believe my mother's come down to give a sign. You know, I believe when I won my 2 gold medals and I felt like angels were holding me up and I was running because I took 20 years of ups and downs of getting it. And when I finally won, I had angel written on my shoulder because I believed something that I had maybe manifested helped me. So it's like when you manifest or when you, meditate, you're normally doing it for something to assist you in being a better person or feeling better. But what that is, I don't know.
Is that similar to you, Gloria, in some aspects, in that I know that, you know, when a white feather comes down, you...
Absolutely. I mean, the thing is, I think what we're all saying is that we can all have our individual faith. After all, at the end of the day, it is what we believe and what we believe we're going to. And I like to believe that there is heaven. I don't know what it looks like. But, for example, my Karen, she always believed in angels. And all religions have had angels in their religion for centuries. And when she would find a white feather, isolated white feather, I'm not talking about a bunch of them from some white dove or something, but she would say, oh, that's an angel's calling card. And so I don't care whether people think this is crazy or not. I don't care. It gives me faith. When I come home on a wet day and I see a lovely, dry, white feather on my doorstep, I say, Karen's been here today. It's a sign. So I lift the feather, put it in here. I've got jars of them inside. And it makes me feel stronger.
Absolutely. Gives you comfort, doesn't it?
Yes, and I don't care what other people sort of think of that. Some people say, oh, it's rubbish, but I don't care. I think whatever gives you comfort.
Yeah, of course. And Sue, I don't know where you are in faith, but I believe you've just become a godmother?
I have. I have become a godmother for the first time, and it's very exciting.
Does it feel like a thing?
It does feel like a thing, actually. Yeah, I mean, I'm one of these people that I feel that talking about religion, I'm an honorary godmother because I would like to say I'm more like a cultural parent, I would say.
OK.
It's for my friend Nicola Thorpe and Nikesh Patel's little girl. Oh, there she is.
Oh, that's one lovely photograph.
Is that because you're not religious?
Yes, because we, you know, it's just, you know, it's just the way it is. I think that these days a lot of people, you're kind of an honorary godparent. You want to have a part in their life, but I take it seriously, and I want to take it seriously. I mean, when my son was little, and I didn't want an official godparent, but I did want someone for him, I actually wrote them a letter saying, listen, I'd like to ask if you'd like to be his godparent, but, however, this is what I would expect. And if you can't do this, I'd rather you say no, because I didn't want... Because we've all got... I've got a really great godmother who's always been there for me my entire life. But I also have another godmother somewhere who... I don't know what happened to her. And I just... well, maybe I do, but I don't want to share it right here. But I have no idea. I wouldn't know if I passed through the street.
I think that's the problem with the whole godmother, godfather thing, because you make a decision at a point in time when the baby's tiny and you've got a friendship with somebody, but you don't know how life is going to, you know, where it's going to take you. You don't know how the child is going to grow up, whether or not they'll have a connection. So is it almost just chance whether it works out, that relationship, or not?
Of course it is, but I think you have to go into it with the right intention.
Yeah.
My intention is, you know, right, and I sent the card saying congratulations. I can't wait to influence her in the future, and I have. I'm definitely going to do that.
I'd say that in terms of influence, like, so I'm not a godparent, but I have 8 nieces, 2 nephews, and another 5 other children in my family makeup. They make up like my kids, and I feel like I try to be more of a role model. So when they come to me, I'm not their parent. So if I don't think something is right, I'll tell them. So I'll tell them right and wrong. But also I try to...
So these are godparents, or you're their auntie, or what?
Officially, yes.
What's this?
Officially, I'm not allowed to say that word. I don't say that.
Go on, say it. Say it. Say the word out loud.
It made me sound old.
We don't like being an auntie.
Being an auntie is lovely.
What is it, panto again?
The audience can all say you're an auntie.
DK, Kel, Kelly, and they try always to say the A word, and I ignore them.
What, Auntie Kelly?
I don't know why. I just don't like the age
I've never
thing.
heard that
You know
before.
I don't like the age thing.
I think that's how you should be introduced forevermore.
No, but just going back, I feel like I when they come to mine, I love it. Like, I am probably the biggest child, that's the thing. But I do like the fact that I can give them a little bit more of the... I've got more time with them when they're with me because I have limited time. So I'll give them the life skills, I'll teach them how to pay for something with a card, because they're going to need that later on, how to get a train ticket. If they ask me about bank or they ask me anything, I can say it, because I'm not afraid. And... also, I hope that I'm showing them acceptance. They're between 3 and 21, and some of them came down to watch me panto very quickly, and my 18-year-old nephew, who, you know, normally they kind of don't... They're a bit awkward, aren't they? A bit awkward. And he came out after panto, he said, I am so proud of you. And I thought, that's my 18-year-old nephew saying he's proud of me because he never thought I'd do it because of the type of character I am. And I thought that was just wonderful. So I'm trying to teach him respect.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Teach him respect.
I know. You're right, Gloria. What a lovely auntie she is, isn't she? She really is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not long before, she's a great aunt.
Oh, yes, that's true. Still to come. Is it a bad thing to be judgmental? It could make you a winner in the Traitors, but what about real life? We're discussing that after the break. Plus, we will be revealing the latest must-have to really heat things up in the bedroom. I know. See you after this. Welcome back. Still to come, as Nicole Kidman confesses to a tall tale, we'll be sharing the biggest fibs we have ever told a bit later on and revealing why Sue is very closely connected to Corey, her little fib is. And after Dame Esther Rantzen revealed last month that she has joined assisted dying facility Dignitas, we'll be talking to her daughter Rebecca Wilcox about how her mum's doing and hearing exclusively from Esther herself. It's competition time now, though, with £100,000 to give away. Gemma Atkinson has taken herself off to a posh spa in Cheshire to show you how you could live a bit of the luxury lifestyle if you want. Hi there, Gemma.
Hiya, ladies. Thank you very much. And that's right, £100,000 to give away to one lucky winner. Now, I know a few of you might be thinking, how on earth am I going to spend that much cash? That's why I'm here at Carden Park Spa to show you how you can splash it. And you really can with all these pools. Look at the scenery as well. It's gorgeous. You can see the Welsh Hills in the background. The sun's coming out. It's just amazing here. I'm about to tuck in to some afternoon tea as well. I've been very well looked after by the staff. We've got the lovely Emma. Afternoon, Emma. You all right?
Good afternoon.
£100,000 in your back pocket. What are you going to spend it on?
Ooh. I think a nice shopping spree and maybe a wellbeing break at the spa at Cardiff.
Oh, a nice little plug, I like it. We've got Chef Sean. Sean, quick question, important question. With the scone, jam or cream first?
Definitely cream.
You've heard it from a pro. Now, remember, there's loads of ways you can spend the cash. First, you need to win it. Here's your details how.
Text cash to 86060. Text costs £2 plus one standard network rate message. Go to the website, entries cost £2. Call 09068 786 060. Calls cost £2 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to DY01, PO Box 7558 Derby, DE1 0NQ. Entrance must be 18 or over and lines close on Friday the 19th of January at 3 p.m. Good luck!
There you have it. You've not got long to enter. Lines close 3 o'clock this Friday. Good luck.
Oh, she's tucking in there. That looks good, Gemma. That looks really good. She can't say anything. She's got her mouth full. Lovely. Now, last night was the coldest January night in 5 years, plummeting to minus 14 degrees in Dalwhinnie in Scotland. And if you've been shivering in your sheets, you might want to take... Oh, I'm so glad I got that out correctly. It's not the first time I've made a mistake on that. You might want to take a leaf out of Sue's book and get yourself some lovely cosy bed socks. Yes. We've got a picture of Sue's bed socks anywhere, have we? Oh, Sue, you're a disgrace.
That was last night in the hotel. I took a picture of my husband and said, I think I brought the wrong socks.
That must have really turned him on.
Well, he wasn't there last night. He wasn't there.
Right, OK.
But, yeah, my feet are... Is anyone else's feet always cold at night?
Oh, yeah.
So I always have bed socks on. I mean, they usually come off at some point during the night, but, yeah, I swear by my bed socks.
Depends who takes them off.
Yeah, I know. What a moment, what a moment. Well, listen, those socks are absolutely vile, but if you want to wear them, fine. But here's a nice new pair.
Thank you. I shall think of you tonight when I'm tucked up.
Oh, please don't, Sue. Now, it's the show that's got everyone talking at the moment, The Traitors. And if you are watching, you know that tonight, I can't wait, it's going to be a big cliffhanger. Answer a big cliffhanger.
Coming soon on The Traitors.
I hope the traitors felt awful in that moment.
Fear-inducing.
Really dark. It's just like a minefield.
Come from the out at you 6 feet under.
Sleep well, if you can.
Oh, my head is fried, man.
Oh, God, this is going to be good. If you haven't seen it, the aim of the game is to trust your judgment to identify the so-called traitors of the group. But do you trust your first judgment, Kelly, on people?
First of all, I love Traitors.
Yes.
Oh, it's just the best programme ever. I think I put my trust on people immediately. Like, I want to be proved wrong. So I will give everybody the benefit of the doubt.
Oh, do you?
Yes.
Oh.
I give everyone the benefit of doubt unless it's obvious that something's not quite right.
Until they let you down, you mean?
Until they let me down, for definite.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of my friends are the opposite way. They don't trust anybody until they gain a trust.
I think that's probably me.
You.
I think that is probably me. Yeah.
And then also, I also think that it's probably I judge myself more than I judge others.
Right.
So I always more worry about what other people think of me, or used to, what other people think of me, rather than what I think of other people.
Except not since Panto. Not since Panto. She's a changed woman. She's a changed woman.
I'm a changed woman. But yeah, no, that judgment thing's it's interesting, isn't it? It's kind of like, why do you judge somebody? You know, do you judge someone by the colour of their hair and then go, oh, don't like the colour of hair,
yeah,
and then actually that gives you a
judgy has become
opinion.
a negative word. Is it necessarily a negative word?
Not necessarily. I mean, I think the reality is every single one of us judge people. Yeah. We are judgmental. That is hardwired to us. If you think of like your reptile brain, when we were in the time where there were saber-toothed tigers and we had foes...
I'm not that old, Sue.
We had to make quick judgments. And we still carry that with us today. So we do make judgments. Yeah. I mean, in some ways, you saying that you will give someone the benefit of the doubt, that could open you up to danger.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Seeing the bad in people, again, is the other extreme. But you, I know, You sort of, you sit in the middle, don't
I'm
you?
neutral. I'm neutral until I sort of... Well, you've got to get to know people, haven't you? I mean, so many people in my life have bounced into my life.
Use, then? How would you describe yourself? What are you? You're not...
Sceptical.
Yeah, maybe sceptical. Yeah.
Or unsure?
No, I'm not. I just wait and watch a little bit. You know, I'm never the first person who'll declare I love that person or I don't like that person. I'm just going to wait and see how that person pans out a little.
But, you know, there's a chemical reaction, too, to people, isn't there? I mean, it's like why you choose somebody to love or your husband or your boyfriend, whatever. There's something chemical in you that attracts you to that person. And I think my gut reaction is reasonably good. And I do make a snap decision in a way as to whether I would love this person as a friend or maybe not. And it's only sometimes when you get let down and I don't like that feeling because I've given my gut reaction the benefit of the doubt.
Sometimes, though, sometimes we make a judgment about another person. We see something in them and we say, I don't like that, I don't like... And often it's a reflection of something that you see in yourself.
Yes, I think... And that's, I think, often why sometimes family members can, you know, rub up against each other because actually they're kind of seeing another little bit of themselves in them. I think that is quite interesting. Bit deep for this conversation. We will find out what's happening on The Traitors tonight after the break.
I have joined Dignitas. If the next scan says nothing's working, I might buzz off to Zurich.
Yeah, well, it was just a few weeks ago that Dame Esther Rantzen made that revelation. We'll be talking to her daughter, Rebecca Wilcox, about how it was also the first time that she had heard of her mum's wishes and hearing an exclusive update from Esther herself. We'll see you after this. Welcome back to your Wednesday Loose Women Live, and keeping you company this lunchtime, it's Kelly Holmes, Sue Cleaver, Gloria Hunniford and me, Kay Adams. Still to come, as Nicole Kidman admits to lying in order to get acting roles, we'll be sharing some of our biggest ever fibs, and one of Kelly's involved this. It's a pencil. But first, she reignited the debate around assisted dying last year when Dame Esther Rantzen revealed that she signed up to Dignitas, the Swiss-assisted dying clinic. Here is a reminder of Esther's story. She shot to fame as the presenter of That's Life. Dame Esther Rantzen has spent a lifetime campaigning, founding both Childline and the Silver Line.
Today is, for me, and indeed for all of us who were present when the idea of Childline was born, a miracle.
But after being diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer, Dame Esther revealed in November that she's considering assisted dying.
You know, I have joined Dignitas. I have, in my brain, thought, well, if the next scan says nothing's working, I might buzz off to Zurich.
Today we speak to her daughter Rebecca about her legacy, taking over the reins of Childline and the miracle Christmas they've just spent together. Please welcome Esther's daughter Rebecca Wilcox.
Yes.
Welcome, Rebecca, and thank you very much for coming and speaking to us about your mum, who I have to say is an absolute powerhouse. I mean, she really is. And talk about the inveterate campaigner. She's campaigned all her life, and here she is again. No surprise to you, I'm sure.
No, not a surprise. Every single thing that we've ever been through as kids, she's made into a campaign. From breastfeeding to orthodontics, but this one is a bit more serious. So I'm a bit thrown by that BT. It was so beautiful, and the music, and me as a child is always very unnerving. But
well, listen, talking about breastfeeding, Gloria's got a story for you.
I know. Oh, just very quick, I'll start the story. The very first time that I met Rebecca, because I've known the family for a long time, and Esther was on air, and she had been to a literary lunch, and she'd got a little bit of flack in the papers about breastfeeding in public. So she said to me, it was Radio 2 at the time, so she said, don't mention that I have the baby with me or anything. So I didn't. But then during the interview, all I could hear was... And of course, this is Rebecca. They're being breastfed. And I have to say, in case you think there's something funny going on in this studio, Esther is breastfeeding her baby, Rebecca. So that's when we first met.
I always was a noisy eater. I mean, what can I say? It's so embarrassing.
May I just ask you one question here? Because, I mean, I have known the family for a very, very long time. And I know how strong Esther is, and I know what a great bond you and your brother and sister have had with your family and your dad, Desmond. How did you react when you first heard that Esther had the cancer, and how is she dealing with it alongside yourself?
It's the news that no one ever wants to hear. And Mum doesn't usually break her promises, and she promised to live forever. So she's quite embarrassed that she's had to go back on that. But how does anyone ever feel when their loved one is diagnosed with a terminal illness? It's confusing, it's bamboozling, they use all these words. You just want them to tell you what's going to happen and when really directly and really succinctly, and nobody does, because they pad around it carefully, and you just want them to say, this is what you have and this is how long it will take. But fortunately, she is doing OK. We don't know what is going to happen next. We only know what happened in the last scan, and the last scan is always a bit out of date. And then you go and meet the oncologist, and he asks Mum, how are you doing? And she says, I don't know. That's why I'm here.
You tell me.
Yeah, exactly.
It seems like your mum, though, characteristically has tried to take control of the situation by saying that she, you know, has joined Dignitas. I mean, when were you aware of that?
Probably the same time as you.
Okay.
It was a little surprising. She likes surprising us, and she likes keeping us on our toes. I mean, I've always known how she feels about death and dying. She's done a lot of work around it. She's done documentaries, she's done newspaper articles and books. And so we've always known that the last thing she wants is for our memories of her to be replaced with a traumatic death. And a traumatic death involves a patient in pain. So if she's in pain, why would she want to live any longer? If she's not getting anything from life, I mean, obviously you can live with a certain amount of pain, and some people are brilliantly stoical. But she has always said, I love my life the way I am. I love who I am. She doesn't say that. She's very modest. But she is who she is, and she has this super duper brain. I know I'm biased, but she's so bright and so brilliant that the last thing she would want is to become something else in her last moments.
Can I just ask how you had that conversation? Because obviously you see it in the media, but then how do you have that personal conversation about a story you've just heard that you didn't expect, maybe?
My brother said that living with Mum is like living next to a volcano, and you just never know when it's going to explode. So, you know, you just put on your hat for lava.
Nevertheless, if you read it in the paper...
Gloria,
as
we're going to listen. We've got a message from Esther.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know whether I'll live long enough to see this debated in Parliament, but if you do agree with me, please make your views known to your MP. And for those who disagree, maybe on religious principles or maybe because they're professionally absorbed in palliative care and believe that this goes against what they practice in medicine, can I just say all we ask for is the choice. That's all we're asking for. We don't want to impose our views on you, but we do want the choice ourselves.
I was just really conscious you don't want to talk about Esther Rantzen without letting Esther Rantzen talk as well, so I really wanted to get that in. So your mum wants to spark a debate here, yeah?
Yes. So, I mean, the fact that she isn't allowed to choose how she dies doesn't make any sense to any of us. She's chosen how she wants to live, and she's been a bit of force of nature in that respect. So it makes sense in a way that this is the debate that's coming to the forefront of our family. She's watching now, which is making me really nervous, because I feel like I'm putting words in her mouth, and you should never do that with Mum.
So this is because it's against the law in England?
Yes.
Well, in the United Kingdom.
In the UK?
Yes.
So this is why she's chosen to go to Switzerland, is that right? Because I didn't really know what that process was.
You could be charged for assisting in a murder of Esther Rantzen. Dame Kelly, you may not be Dame after that, if you did that.
So if I went over there at the same time, knowing... Just go, wow.
And that means that you can't be with her?
No.
No.
This is the awful thing about outsourcing death to Switzerland. You have to go before you're ready because you have to be signed off by 2 doctors. So you're not quite at the stage that you would otherwise choose. And you have to go alone because anyone that goes with you comes back to prosecution. At the worst time in your life, like I'm experiencing the worst thing ever, which is the loss of my mum. I'm very close to my mum. I'm very lucky to have her. But then I'd have to go through a court case and prove that I didn't murder her.
Can you, I mean, given that Esther's always been one to have a debate, can you understand the objections? There are people who are concerned that this would be a slippery slope, that some people would feel pressured not to be a burden. I'm using all these words that are used by people who are concerned about changing the law here. Can you understand where they're coming from?
I absolutely understand that there are a few evil people who would take advantage of it, to do whatever it was they wanted to get hold of somebody's assets and to end somebody's life before they have chosen to. But it's not reinventing the wheel. It exists and works in other countries.
It works in Canada, doesn't it?
It works in Canada. And so we could take those rulings and we can adapt them for this country. Yes, absolutely protect the vulnerable. But someone like Mum, she's made her opinions very clear.
Yeah.
What's to debate?
Yeah.
OK, on a real high, your mum has just been, like, everything about her and obviously Childline, and you're vice president, you're going to be president. How's it stepping into your mum's shoes? How do you feel about that? Do you feel you have to replicate the strength of your mum, or is it about taking Childline and continuing Childline and the work she's done?
Well, the most important thing is this incredible charity that she started in 1986 that I am just so proud to be a part of. When we found out that she was going to die sooner than we thought, I thought, how can I keep this association going? And I was going to train to be a volunteer counsellor, and I never thought that they would ask me to do this role. And I feel completely honoured and imposter syndrome, and when are they going to realise that Olivia Colman would be so much better? But I love the charity. I've grown up with the charity. It's turning 40 next year. Oh, wow. I'm so proud of the work.
Well, Rebecca, we do have one final message from your mum, actually. Here we are.
I am incredibly proud of Becca for all kinds of reasons. She's a terrific mother. She's a terrific daughter. She's a terrific journalist. And I am absolutely thrilled that she's taking on the presidential role at Childline. I felt very bad, really, because I'm not able to do what I used to do, which is go in and become a volunteer counsellor on the phone and visit the various Childline bases and meet our staff and volunteers. And she's going to do all that. And it's such an important role. And I know she'll do it brilliantly. And I know she'll love doing it. So, Becca, I am extremely proud of you.
Oh, that's very lovely.
You know what? It sounds like you're the perfect person to take on the role.
Oh, well, thank you. I don't feel that I could do anything at all in relation to how brilliant she's been, but I just want to do my best.
OK. Well, Rebecca, listen, thank you. We've covered some tough ground on today's show. If you have been affected by anything, please do visit our website for help and advice. Plenty more to come after the break, including the one shocking lie that Nicole Kidman told to help her career. We'll see you after this.
Well done.
Still to come as Nicole Kidman reveals some surprise truths behind her success. We'll be spilling some of our own behind-the-scenes secrets in just a minute. But it is competition time now, and there is a total of £100,000 to be won. Gemma is taking time out of a wonderful spa day to tell you all the details of how you can win big. She's finished the scone. That's marvellous. Hi, Gemma.
Hiya, ladies. Yes, welcome back to me here at the spa. I've had the nicest morning, I can't tell you, it's wonderful. I've had jam and scones, I've had a facial, I've had a pedicure. It's been utter TLC. And if you feel like your bank account could do with some TLC, I've got just the thing for you. £100,000 is up for grabs in our competition. That's like an extra £8,000 a month in your account for the rest of 2024 for you to do whatever you want with. You could do some home renovations, treat yourself to a new car, or have that luxury holiday you've always dreamed of. You haven't got long to enter though, so here are all the details.
Text cash to 86060. Text costs £2 plus one standard network rate message. Go to the website, entries cost £2. Call 09068 786 060. Calls cost £2 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to DY01, PO Box 7558 Derby, DE1 0NQ. Entrance must be 18 or over and lines close on Friday the 19th of January at 3 p.m. Good luck.
Thanks, Gemma. Now, she famously towered over her ex, Tom Cruise, and now Nicole Kidman has admitted to lying about her 5'11" frame to get more work when she started out as an actress, saying that she was shorter than she actually was. Which is interesting, isn't it? Because you're the height that you are. It's like me lying about my age. Anyone could check it out, but it didn't stop me right enough, as we said. Yeah. You actually lie up the other way, don't you, with your height?
No, I'm 5'3" and 3/4. Oh. That 3/4 is important. So sometimes I say 5'4". I would have loved to have been taller. Like at school, though, we were all roughly the same height, apart from one. And she seemed to stand out. But I was quite jealous. I wanted to be at height, but she was rubbish at running, so I was quite happy. But no, I've always had that height thing, because I like you look amazing in that skirt and that top. Now, if I wore that, the skirt would be down to the floor, right? So it just wouldn't look as good. On tall bodies, I don't know, some things just seem to look nicer.
The clothes.
You know what I mean? Clothes and
so you always wanted to look taller. Were you the one that stood out?
Taller.
Yeah, I was. I mean, I'm 5'10", and I think I was probably 5'10" when I was about 13. So I was always towering above anybody, but I never had a problem with it. I had a problem that I had the biggest feet, but no, it didn't bother me. I kind of always liked being tall, but I do know a lot of teenage girls don't. And you must have, go down the street sometimes and you see the tall girl with her friends, and she's slouched over with her hands in the pocket, trying to make herself smaller. Yeah. And I think it's a shame. Now, I've always thought, I've got a wider view. I've got a vision. I can reach the top shelf.
Yeah, I mean, I was always tall in my class, though now I'm not tall. Both my daughters are taller than I am, so it's really weird for me to be the kind of short one, and I don't think I like it. But when I was younger, I wanted to be short. So,
I'm the short one.
Yeah, well, I didn't want to say,
Excuse me, in this environment, it's the only environment, actually, a work environment, I should say, is the only time that I just feel slightly too small, because I'm 5'2½". Never bothers me any other time. I've got these short Irish legs which barely reach the floor. And my stool has to be raised up so that I might be vaguely in line with the rest. But it's very funny, because Penny Lancaster, Rod Stewart's wife, she is a loose women from time to time. And we went out to an event.
So we're just looking at your stool there, Glo. You can see.
My stool. I know. Look how high up it is. But that is Dickie, our director, and he wants to make sure everybody more or less looks level, hence the stool. But Penny Lancaster, Rod Stewart's wife, she is tall. And I used to say to her, does Rod mind you being so tall? She said, no, he loves it. But we went out to a function one night, and the Paps took a photograph, and they actually said in the paper, it looked like Penny was breastfeeding me. Which is quite true.
It's hilarious. God, that makes me feel slightly uncomfortable. I don't know why. Have you ever lied about your... Have you lied? What's the story about you lying with a... What's the connection of you and a lie and a pencil? What is this?
I can't get done anymore, so all right. So I was in the army. I joined when we were 18. And in basic training, you have to do rifle shooting. So you have a big SA-80 proper rifles. You're on the rifle shoot. And if you don't get a certain amount of scores, you have to keep coming back. Whereas an 18-year-old, you don't want to have to keep coming back. So we're on the range, and normally what happens is you do the range, you stop your fire, you take the bullets out, the rounds out, and you walk down to the target, and you have, like, a target, and it's paper. So we were told by other intakes before us, take a lead pencil. Because if you've missed the target, when the Sergeant Major isn't looking, poke the hole, because the lead looks like a bullet. So, of course I did.
You're a liability, you are.
So, yeah, so we used to go down, literally, and we'd look at the things and we'd go, oh, my God, it was so bad. You're 18, you're like this. You know, you're shooting these weapons, but you didn't want to have to do it again. I mean, of course, you have to anyway as you go through basic training. But the lead pencil, it had to be really sharp, because that lead, when it goes, pierces through, it just looks like the bullet's gone straight through. So I was, like, getting top scores all the time. Loved it.
So now we know what to do when we're in exercise.
You fond of a porky pie, Sue?
Have I? Well, I'll tell you, there's a lie that I would say the majority of actors who come out of drama school, we all do the same. When you write your CV and you put on it, extra skills, horse riding, fencing, grade 5 fencing, when really you've done a week of just parry. And what's the other one? Stage fighting. And also, so we always put that on. And then Corrie, when I went into Corrie, they said to me, oh, you know, have you watched the show? Oh, yes, I've always been a fan of the show. I'd never watched it. My dad wouldn't have it on. My father was we only watch BBC and we don't watch adverts. It's ridiculous that I've made my career now in ITV, isn't it?
That is sacrilege.
I know. He wanted me to be in Last of the Summer Wine. It's not my fault. But, yeah, so I had to say, yes, I've watched it my whole life. I mean, obviously, because it was iconic. I knew some of the iconic characters, thank goodness. So, yeah, I had to lie about that one.
Oh, my God, you could get yourself... My biggest... Well, it's not my biggest... I was about to say I'm a terrible liar, which is, unfortunately, the truth. I've always lied about my age, but not anymore, because I'm on the straight and narrow with that. 49. But every other day, I'll be there in 5 minutes. I'll be there in 5 minutes, because I'm always late, and, like, my kids will phone me and say where, I'm on the way, I'll be there in 5 minutes. I get out the shower, I get dressed, or whatever. Terrible liar with the time, that's my worst one. But that's not too bad, is it, Gloria?
We need to debate that another show, because I've got a thing about people who were late.
Oh, really? Ooh. Did you see the way Sue started tapping the table there? I tell you what, thank goodness it's nearly 1:30. That's it for today. Tomorrow, making her Loose Women debut, Sadie Frost joins us live. I hope you have a wonderful afternoon. We will be back tomorrow at the same time, prompt tomorrow.